wanted you for life, you and me in the wind. I never thought there'd come a time that our story would end. It's hard to understand, but I guess I'll have to try. It's not easy to say goodbye. For all the joy we shared, all that time we had to spend. If I had one wish, I'd want forever back again. To look into your eyes and hold you when you cry. It's not easy to say goodbye. I remember all those great times we had. So many memories, some good, some bad. Yes, and through it all, those memories will last forever. There's peace in where you are. Maybe all I need to know. And if I listen to my heart, I'll hear your laughter once more. And so I have to say, I'm just glad you came my way. It's not easy to say goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, we're here today to remember and to celebrate the life of Heather Gervasoni. And I think that song which Rob chose, Goodbye, is the beautiful words with such meaningful sentiment. It's not easy to say goodbye, but today we are going to try. My name is Alicia Kay, and I'm honoured to be conducting this service today for Heather on behalf of Rob and Heather's children, Angela, Samantha, Tiffany, Bronson, and Zoe, Rob's children, Kane and Blake, and of course, all their families. Heather was a loving wife, a devoted mother, a crazy nana, and a great work colleague, and an amazingly generous friend. And as I look around the room, I can tell that she was also a woman that has left an indelible mark on all of your lives. So as we gather, we do so with heavy hearts. They are filled with sadness and grief. But I urge you to embrace your grief and try and seek to understand it, and draw strength from those who are around you, and may their presence be felt here today. It is also going to be a time to reflect, to remember and to celebrate. as together we are going to share some of the stories of Heather's truly unique life. And many of you will say it was a life that was taken away way too soon. And although her death may be the end of her physical life, it cannot end the love that you had for her. You will always have the wonderful gift of her in your memories. And I want to encourage you to turn to these time and time again when you need them. We're going to start our service today with the children. They're going to come up, the grandchildren, I should say. They're going to come up, all 12 of them who are here today are going to come up and light a candle for their Nana. And we're going to play a song, and the song is called Dancing in the Sky. And Heather herself chose this.
Here I am, looking down on you from heaven. It's so peaceful, it's so free, like you pray. It is warm, it's so bright and so beautiful. All my fears and my pain have gone away. 'Cause here in heaven, oh, I miss you so. But I know we'll meet someday. But now please go and spread your wings and seize the day. I'm okay, 'cause I'm dancing in the sky. Each day I'm singing in the angels' choir. I hope that you go and live your life. Never give up, one day we will reunite.
The lighting of the candle represents
so
the flickering flame
in
of Heather's eternal light. We've only got hold of it for a brief moment, so may it burn as brightly as possible.
And someday we will walk these clouds together. But first you must go and see the world for me. 'Cause here in heaven, oh, I miss you so. But I know we'll meet someday. But now please go and spread your wings and seize the day. I'm okay, 'cause I'm dancing in the sky. Each day I'm singing in the angels' choir. I hope that you go and live your life. Never give up, one day we will reunite. We'll reunite. We'll I'm okay, 'cause I'm dancing in the sky. And each day I'm singing in the angels' choir. And I hope that you go and live your life. Never give up, one day we will reunite. We'll reunite.
I had the wonderful opportunity to sit with Heather prior to her death. And amongst her being an amazingly brave woman, she told me some gorgeous stories. She told me how much she loved her family, her husband Rob. And I also sat with the family after her death. And today there's going to be some tears, which I'm feeling there already has been, some laughter, and some amazing stories. Heather will be forever remembered for her infectious smile, her spiky hair, and that amazing sparkle in her eyes, and her gorgeous, generous nature. Her unwavering courage and determination, along with her resilience. These were qualities that inspired all that knew her. And you knew the Heather yourselves. You know she wasn't perfect, but you loved her despite of these imperfections. And that's why we're all here, to preserve Heather's memory, the good, the bad, and the ugly some days. And we also want to ensure that these memories will live on within each and every one of you here today. I'm going to draw your attention now to the screen. Zoe chose a beautiful poem that she wanted played, and it was chosen a little while ago, knowing that this was going to be the result and this is going to be the day that we had. When I showed it to Angela and Sam as well, they both agreed it was the most beautiful poem for their mum.
No matter how much I try, I know you still won't come back. Remembering the day you left, I didn't know how to react. To hear the news was hard and shocking. I cried and ignored those who were talking. As the world was fading into silence, I was deeply lost into my thoughts of it. I ignored their comfort, because it didn't help much, but just a little bit. But why did this happen to me? And why now? This was too soon. I wasn't ready. But I will regain my strength somehow. At least there were people there for me, but not that special someone. She was always there for me, since the time of my life had begun. She is someone I miss, and someone I really love. But at least she is now safe, with the angels up above. You've always been by my side, and you've been there all along. It just hurts to know that you are eternally gone. It's like a thrust to my heart filled with sorrow and pain, knowing that this torment will leave a mark that is left to be stained. I know that everything happens for a reason, and I hope that everything will be okay. But I guess I just can't wait to see you again. But I will someday. When the time comes, it'll be my turn to go away. I may not feel your presence physically, but I know you're still here in my heart. A mother and daughter's love that will never grow apart. I miss you so much, Mom. Until we meet again.
Thank you, Zoe, for that. It was beautiful. So soon we will be hearing the stories and seeing the pictures from those who held a special place in their hearts for Heather, those who knew her best. And it is in these stories that we're going to find some comfort. And as you listen to these stories, you will uncover what defined Heather and what made her uniquely herself. So I'd like to invite Angela to come up first.
Heather, who was she? She was our matriarch. She was a wife, a mother, a nana, a sister, an auntie, a great auntie, a friend and a boss lady. Heather was born in Ballarat on the 20th of November 1958. She was almost born in the international waters of Greece, as her mum, Isabel, was on a ship immigrating from Scotland to Australia. Her father, Andrew, had already arrived in Australia with his mother. Heather was the eldest child of Andrew and Isabel, sister to Rhonda, Andrew and Fiona. They grew up in Wendouree. Heather attended Wendouree West Primary School and then went on to Ballarat North Technical School for high school. Heather wasn't a real fan of school and wanted to leave in Year 9, but her parents said she could only leave on the proviso that she must get a job. Heather got a job at the local fish and chip shop that was owned by Nick and Teresa. Heather worked on and off over the years. After a period of time, Heather went on to work at Coles variety stores. She worked various jobs throughout her lifetime, including Eureka Laundry, Timpkin, Mars, the Smeaton Hotel, the Bunch of Grapes Hotel, the Creswick Fish Shop, and the Lee Creek Fish and Chip Shop. She was also a #1 top distributor for Amway for 2 years in a row. When Mum worked at Mars, she was a casual, so she used to fill her time with a little side hustle of making Easter eggs. At first, this was a hobby, but the locals loved them so much that the local milk bar sold them as well. They were so popular, the kids had to move out of their bedroom so the eggs, wrap and packaging could be stored. Heather, whilst working at Coles, met a pretty keen fellow who she said she told to piss off a few times. But then she caved and went on a date with Lou. Heather was 15 when they met, and after courting for some time, they fell in love and then Heather became pregnant. Heather's parents weren't too keen on the pregnancy, but she refused to give the baby up. So their only choice was to get married. They married on the 4th of October in 1975 and welcomed their eldest daughter, Angela, that's me, in March 1976. Heather was 17 years old when she arrived. She then welcomed Samantha in December 78, and in August 1980, they welcomed their first son, Kane. Tiffany was born in October 82, and after being told that Lou could not father any more children after a bout of testicular cancer, along came Bronson in May 85. Growing up, we enjoyed large family gatherings, day trips to Melbourne, Ocean Grove and Eastern Beach, Sunday drives to the Learmonth Bakery for a Boston bun, family boating and fishing trips with the entire extended family. Our backyard was filled with all that 5 kids could ever ask for. We never had fancy cars or an annual holiday, but we always felt loved and we never really missed out. Family was everything to Heather, and she always said, if you never have any friends, you'll always have your family. Mum was very particular, never liked anything out of place, and growing up would always make us remove our shoes and or wet clothes at the front door before entering. Then we'd be straight into the shower, into PJs, then Mum would follow it up with a hot Milo and a home-baked snack. Mum's favourite job of all was just being a mum. Family was everything to her. Mum had the greatest love of cooking. She often baked for school and kinder fetes, cooked and catered for many functions, including army mess functions. Heather and Lou raised their 5 kids in Wendouree for 16 years until they separated. Heather continued to live in Wendouree for a couple of years until moving across town to Mount Pleasant. Heather was in her early 30s, single and ready to mingle. Whilst being a single mum to 5 kids and working shift work at Mars, she managed to get out on the town a few times and party. Mum had some going out friends, one of which was her sister Rhonda, and one of the other friends later introduced her to Robert. Robert was a pretty shy country guy, not quite sure he knew what he was in for. What an amazing guy, though. He took Heather and her 5 kids on as if they were his own. Robert lived in a little small country town called Smeaton, 35 minutes from Ballarat. And after Angela left home to move to Queensland in 1996, Rob convinced Heather to move in with him in Smeaton. Heather's family gave her 6 months before she'd moved back into town. But much to their surprise, she lived for the next 27 years out there. She was, however, the only country person that spent most of her time in town. They moved into their little 3-bedroom house with 5 kids in tow, and then soon had a little surprise and announced that Heather was expecting. The following year, they welcomed their own daughter, Zoe. Heather didn't mind the country life too much. She created a beautiful garden and she changed and recreated it a few times over the years. Rob and Heather were married at home in their backyard in April 2000 and with all 8 children present. Heather worked at the Smeaton Hotel as a cook for a few years, and then in 2007, Heather purchased her current fish and chip shop, Cracker Jacks, where she remained working until she was too sick to work anymore. The shop was Heather's baby. Many of her extended family have worked with her: sisters, sister-in-laws, nieces, Rob's cousins, her beloved daughters. Sam was Mum's 2IC from the get-go, and she later went on to manage the business side of things, including HR and payroll. Rob worked his everyday job and would work with Mum in his spare time. Yeah, right. He never had any spare time, but he did work there. Until he joined her full-time in 2016. Mum's real excitement, though, was when the grandkids turned 14 and were old enough to work in the shop with her. The 3 eldest grandkids worked with Mum over the last 6 to 7 years, and Braden stepped up whilst Nana was unable to work. Bailey has been an unofficial helper for quite some time, and Dylan and Kaylee love to help out when visiting from Queensland. I, however, just made the inaugural annual appearance on Good Friday, the shop's busiest day of the year. Rob and Heather certainly made a wonderful life for themselves, despite all the trials, tribulations, heartache and challenges thrown at them, such as the loss of their parents, their siblings, floods and the loss of Heather's beloved boy Kane. That nearly broke her and took a long, long time for her to recover from the grief and heartache. In January 2020, Mum was diagnosed with cancer. She had an operation to remove the tumour, followed by 12 cycles of chemo. Mum spent more time in hospital throughout that year than at home. And in amongst this, we had a worldwide pandemic, which Mum was blissfully unaware of. Heather was later cleared of her cancer and could get back to living life. And boy, had she decided she wanted to live life. The love and respect Mum and Rob had for each other is the kind that we all hope for. They were a real team. They had each other's backs no matter what. The life's hurdles that they have overcome was a testament to this. When Heather wasn't working, she was your regular stay-at-home mum that provided a safe, warm, loving and caring environment. Even at times when money was tight, Mum would always say, as long as we have spuds, we can make a meal. Needless to say, we grew up on stews, casseroles and potatoes any way they came. Spuds were Mum's favourite veggie as long as it was the right type. As Rob found out, a potato is not just a potato. And they don't come without butter and salt. Our dining table was for conversation, and let me tell you, no topic was off limits. It was always loud with loads of laughter. Mum talked about so many inappropriate things to both us and to her grandkids, but that is why they and their friends loved her. Heather's favourite things were catching up for a cuppa, dining out for brekkie lunch or tea, bingo, a flutter at the pokies, shopping trips, Melbourne adventures with Connor, watching Ashton, Ebony and Bailey play sport. She was always cheering the loudest. Mum simply loved to hang out. Where there was family, there was food. And if our friends were welcomed by Mum, they soon became an extension of our family. My closest friends say that Mum's distinct laugh, or cackle, was infectious. Mum loved being her own boss. It was her way or not at all. Mum took great pride in the quality of food and service she provided to the greater community. Mum and Rob enjoyed some overseas travel to Scotland and Paris and many trips to Queensland over the years to visit the grandkids. In Heather's illness, she expressed how deeply she was going to miss all of those things. She would have given anything to stay and live out the life her and Rob had dreamt of and planned for. At the beginning of July this year, Mum was hospitalised due to dehydration from constant nausea and vomiting. On the 12th of July, Mum was diagnosed with metastatic cancer. And the following day, she commenced her first round of chemo. Mum spent a week in hospital and later arrived for her second round of chemo on the 26th of July. But unfortunately, she was too sick to continue with treatment as planned. Mum was admitted to hospital where she stayed for a couple of weeks, and on the 8th of August, she was discharged home. After a week of being home, Mum was extremely dehydrated, again due to the uncontrolled nausea and vomiting. She was then admitted to Gandara on the 16th of August, where she spent 49 long days, deteriorating with her failing body. She was losing her independence, her mobility. She was getting weaker and frailer by the day. She was losing her dignity and her mind, trying to come to terms with the sudden loss of her life as she knew it. This was increasingly difficult for us to watch, as the lady laying in that bed was not our fun-loving, loud, zest for life, caring person that we loved. I can't begin to tell you how difficult it is to watch a person that loved cooking and food no longer get any joy out of food or be able to eat. On the 4th of October, Mum was discharged home from Gandara, as approximately 3 weeks prior, she had applied for the voluntary assisted dying to ease her suffering and to give her a choice. Unfortunately, as life would have it, there was an IT issue, which created a massive delay, whereby the process had to start all over again. This led to a great deal of unnecessary suffering. Mum's last 2 weeks of life were the hardest thing I've ever had to see. She didn't want to suffer, and she was. By the time Mum's VAD was approved and the medication arrived, Mum was only days away from death. But she couldn't go another day in that failing body. She absolutely didn't want to leave us. She was eagerly awaiting the arrival of her newest grandson, who's due in 14 days. And she really wanted to celebrate her eldest grandson's 21st birthday, which is also in November. Mum was devastated at what she was leaving behind and what she would miss out on. The thought of leaving Rob by himself nearly killed her most days. Her one thing she wanted for us all was to look after Rob, and we will. Our mum was our biggest supporter, our lifeline, our best friend. She was the life of any party. She was loud. She had zero filter and spoke to the grandkids about all things that would normally be off limits to a nana. The void she will leave in our lives is bigger than the ocean, but we couldn't see her suffer another day. Mum believed in the afterlife and heaven, and we hope and pray she's reunited with her boy Kane, her mum and dad, and her brothers and sisters, and all that have gone before her. No one can replace our mum. The bond we had was something special. Mum was involved in everything we did, and she was always worried about us. She wanted everyone to know that she loved her family and she loved her friends very deeply, and she absolutely loved life. Now to the thanks. Much appreciation and heartfelt gratitude goes to Dr. Josh Saunders for his empathy and sincere compassion shown to Mum in her final weeks and hours. Our family cannot thank you enough for your support and hugs during Mum's final hours. Thanks to Ballarat Hospice for their care of Mum. Even though their involvement was short, we as a family and caregivers felt very supported. We are especially grateful to Leanne and Angela. Mum spent 49 days in Gandara, a palliative care facility, prior to her last 2 weeks at home. We would like to thank Marie and all her wonderful nurses and the doctors Russell and Mitch for the care they provided to Mum. Special mention goes to Marcy and Craig, who went out of their way every day to make us feel at home during Mum's stay. Thank you to Bryony from Hepburn District Nursing for your care and empathy during your couple of visits. Thank you also to Dr. Claire Hepper for her care and compassion shown to Mum when she was discharged from St John of God and for many years previous as Mum's GP. Thank you to Heather Francis for your care of our Heather. Mum had complete trust and faith in you during her cancer journeys. Thank you to the Creswick and district community for all your comments, condolences and memories of Mum. We have been overwhelmed by your love and support. It has been very heartwarming to read how Mum managed to touch so many people's lives. Our heartfelt thanks to our family and friends and Mum's closest and long-standing friends who've been at Mum's side and supported both her and us on this journey, especially at the end when it was the hardest. My final thanks goes to the man sitting in front of me, Rob. You've been the most incredible husband. The love and care you've shown to our Mum, not just during this journey, but in all her times of need, is just incredible. You continued to show up, you worked tirelessly, and you cared for Mum. She loved you so, so much, and she was devastated at the thought of leaving you behind. Please know that we love you, and we are here for you, as we know and understand how quiet life will be without our crazy, loud, fun-loving Mum that was your beautiful wife.
Sam, are you going to come on?
Okay. All right. Okay, well, I was nowhere near ready for this. I wrote this speech at 11:30 last night. I also would have had nothing to say today, so I may quite possibly have a double up in here because I did not hear all of your eulogy. Anyway, I hope I can get through this without crying. It is with tremendous sadness and irreparable broken heart that I stand before you today to honour the life of my beautiful Mum. Not only was she my mum, but also my best friend. She was my boss, my work colleague, my sidekick, my role model, my special person, and the most amazing nana to my boys. Mum and I shared an unbreakable bond. We were like two peas in a pod. And as the saying goes, I'm probably a chip off the old block. I certainly inherited what I would consider some of her greatest traits. And for that, I'm forever thankful. And I promised her to do my very best to fill her shoes in her absence. It's big shoes to fill, but I will have a good crack at it, don't you worry, Mum. My siblings often refer to me as Mum's favourite child. And whilst I don't like to agree, as I'd hate to hurt their feelings, because I know she loved us all equally. I was the only child that never left her. I was the one that stayed here in Ballarat whilst my other four siblings fled to sunny Queensland. So naturally, Mum and I grew a strong bond over those years. Of course, there was Zoe, but she was still young. But just to prove their point, in Mum's last days, Angela thought she'd take the piss with her responses to Mum. And God bless you, Angela. Anyway, upon Angela walking into Mum's room, Mum said, "Who's there?" Angela responds, "It's your favourite daughter." And Mum says, "Oh, Samantha." With that, Angela responded, "I fucking knew it." So with that, how the bloody hell am I supposed to make them believe I'm not the favourite? So I guess the cat's out of the bag now and I'm never going to live it down. But just to add salt to their wounds, before Mum got too sick and couldn't use her phone, she left me a text message that I thought was an essay for her, until Rob told me she talks into her phone and it types the text. I think Mum thought it was the greatest feature of the phone because she didn't know how to use much else, as she was not tech savvy by any means. And in the end, she hated her phone. She even threw it on the odd occasion. A snippet, just a snippet of that message, Mum texted me was, "I'm so proud of you, and I always have been, and you've always been my special person, but don't let on to the others that you're my special person, okay, because I love you. I love you heaps. Mum, kiss, kiss, kiss." I love you, Mum. Anyway, sorry to my brother and sisters, but Mum sent this message to me on one of the hardest days in my life up until today, where I had to do exactly what I'm doing here before you today, but at my best friend's funeral. This message meant the world to me and it helped me get through what I didn't think I could. Unfortunately, Mum is not here today. Well, she is, but she's not here to help me today. And for the first time, I have to do this without her love and support. No one tells you how to live without your mum. And until they are gone, you don't really realise just how lost you are without them. I don't know how I'll go on without her. I just know I have to. And that she would want me to. So I hope I make her proud. Mum had the biggest heart and sometimes cared too much that it hurt her. She had so much love to give and wanted nothing more than to give that to her family. Family meant everything to her, and she was not ready for that to end, and neither were we. I was lucky enough to walk alongside my mum, to work alongside my mum. And whilst we had our moments and cracked the shits with each other from time to time, which, let's face it, is bound to happen when you work together, we also shared lots of great times together. Nothing ever kept us apart or not talking for too long, because not talking wasn't in our nature. Talking is something we loved and definitely had in common. And no filter was Mum's specialty. We love her for that. She was without a doubt an amazing, courageous, fun, loving, caring, thoughtful, and a little bit crazy. But she was definitely one of a kind. No one will ever replace her. She left an impression with everyone that met her, including family, friends of family, co-workers, and even the community. And she will be loved and remembered until the end of time. Now at peace and free from pain, until we meet again, our beautiful angel, watch over us. Just before I conclude, I would like to say a thank you to a few people that I thought hadn't been acknowledged today for the time, love and care that they gave to Mum through the last few months. Auntie Fiona, for your help, cooking meals and generally helping care for Mum when she needed it. All the nights and early mornings and sometimes full days, sitting with Mum and being there for her when we couldn't, even when you had to sit in silence. She appreciated and loved you. Rob, There really is not enough words to thank you for not only your patience, because it was second to none, but for your everlasting eternal love for Mum. All the days and nights you spent by her side, tending to her every want and need, never once complaining. You are a rare gem and an amazing husband, and Mum loved you for eternity. We are all thankful to have you in our lives, and we are here for you. And last but not least, my sister Angela. Not only Mum's eldest daughter, but her nurse, her angel, hence her name. We cannot thank you enough for not only being Mum's advocate through her illness, but caring for her. You sacrificed a lot to be there for Mum, and it didn't go unnoticed. And for that, we are eternally grateful. We could not have done it without you. You did Mum proud, and you should be very proud of yourself, for we are proud of you. You can have a rest now and take solace in knowing that your nursing journey, whilst came about after Dad's death, was for a greater purpose. For greater purpose. And that, my sister, was for caring for our Mum until after her death. You did not stop. She loved you, and the care you gave her was nothing but the best. You were, and always will be, her favourite nurse. To all my family, Mum's final words and wish for all of us was to look after and love each other. Let's make her proud. And to everyone here today, hug your loved ones, make memories, and love each other, for tomorrow is not promised. Thank you.
Now, I believe there's a Janet who's going to say some words on behalf of the grandchildren.
Well, evidently, I'm going to hold it together better than any of the grandkids, so I hope I do. So Heather was blessed with 15 beautiful grandchildren and a 16th on the way. I spoke with many of the grandkids to gather their memories and thoughts of their nana. For many, like Caleb and Dylan, this was too soon and too sad to think about. For others, like Ashton, I learnt she was a force of nature, a woman whose laugh made others laugh, whose dancing made others dance, and from Bailey, whose crazy hairstyles made her really cool. Kai and Tyler said, and I quote, "She was a fun woman, quite the best woman that ever lived. She was very good, Nana." To which Brooklyn said, and I also quote, "Yeah, duh, duh, duh." I believe the translation was, "She definitely was." What some of us considered as authentic communication, for many of Heather's grandkids, it was no filter Nana. They all agreed Nana was loud, had great taste in music, and the life of every party. She was always very loved, as Braden said. Ebony tells me Nana G was a very strong woman, and in her own ways, she showed them all how special they were. Eb will always cherish the love and the care she had for every person that she met. Eb would never describe her Nana as ordinary, but extraordinary. You will never find someone else like her, ever. She will be remembered as the crazy, fun-loving Nana. She was definitely made to be their Nana. Ebony's fondest memory of Nana was her and Rob taking their caravan to the shacks so Heather could glamp while she chaperoned Eb's sleepover with friends, who all adored her too. Ashton will always remember Nana for her calling out, or some might say yelling out, at his footy finals and debs and matches. For Connor, it was a memory of a sub-teacher at high school to whom Connor had mentioned he worked at Cracker Jack's. This sub-teacher asked Connor if he knew the lesbian lady that worked there. confused and shocked Connor, who was thinking, there's no lesbians out at the shop. He replied, no. The sub then asked, well, how could you work at Cracker Jack's and not know the lesbian lady with the spiky, colourful hair and long nails? Connor clicked and loudly and proudly replied, that's my nana. To which the sub said, oh, your nana's a lesbian. Connor, laughing hysterically at this stage, replied, she's not a lesbian, she just has good hair and nails. Whatever the memories of Nana, all the grandchildren would agree, she was an incredible source of love, inspiration, and of course, crazy fun and lots of style. Even when Heather's grandkids were not in her arms, on her lap, or in her family home, they were always in her heart. As her grandkids fight back their tears from the loss of their Nana, I say to them, don't cry because your time with Nana is over, but smile and think about all the fun times that you had. Angela also asked if I could say a few words, which I was a little bit apprehensive about because I've always been on the sidelines, I guess, of Heather and her family. As her daughter Angela's best friend of 40 years, I've seen Heather experience many highs and many lows. However, I've learned a lot from Heather, and I'm sure I'm not alone in saying that. I've always admired and respected Heather's honesty, her communication and commitment to family, her strength to bounce back from adversity. When I first met Heather, I was an 8-year-old child. I'm not going to lie, she absolutely scared the crap out of me. She was a very strict mother and she ran a very tight ship, and no 8-year-old kid was going to befriend her daughter without some rules and boundaries. I clearly remember rule number 1, Angela is not to pass the front letterbox if we play out the front. I also remember no matter what, I was sent home at the same early time every day I was there, as the Jones Owen kids had a very non-negotiable routine of dinner, bath time and bed. But it didn't take long for me to become envious of this mother my best friend had. I simply thought Heather was awesome. Her love and attention to her children and family was like nothing I as a young child had ever seen or experienced. This unwavering love and commitment from Heather to her children was there to her last breath. Not only did Heather show me what an amazing mother is, but she also showed me what an amazing wife is. I was there on the sidelines as Heather had her heart broken. I saw her darkest days, but each time I saw her pick herself up and get on with life. Heather showed me there is life and love after heartbreak, a valuable life lesson that both Angela and I have learned. I fondly remember my Kmart days while studying when Heather and Rob would come in for a Friday night shop. I remember thinking about what a beautiful couple they were. But what I remember most was their first Friday night shop after having Zoe. They were so in love and so very proud of you. I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to have that one day. There is simply a million things I could say and share about Heather, funny moments, one-liners and more, but I know you've all heard them and have your own stories. I feel so truly grateful and privileged that I was welcomed into Heather's life and family. There are special people in this world who never leave us, who never leave even after they are gone, and Heather is definitely one of them. Rest in peace, Heather. Thank you.
Now I just have also a little piece from Heather's best friend, a Cheryl Bentley, who unfortunately, she is here. Sure you don't want to come and read it yourself? No? Okay. I'm going to read it on Cheryl's behalf. Heather and I met through our sons, Bronson and Jared, over 30 years ago, and what mischievous boys they were together. But thanks to those two boys, we found an everlasting friendship. Heather and I laughed together, cried together, shared many worries about our children, but also had many fun times. We danced and partied and also had a few drinks together, and sometimes a few more than a few drinks. In the later years, with our busy working lives, we did a lot less. But if Heather had a special event, I was always there to share it with her. I was very proud, as Heather called me her best girlfriend. I will dearly miss her and will remember her with love always. Love from Cheryl Bentley. Thank you, Cheryl. And I would just like to thank everyone who has spoken today. There have been such heartfelt and beautiful stories and reflections of the wonderful Heather. And now we're going to see some photos. And again, this is music that Heather chose with Rob. And just have a listen. The words are very poignant, very Heather.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain. When I believed in forever, and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Hey. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Hey, hey. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost. And I felt all of the hatred was too powerful to stop. And my heart feel like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I'll carry these torches for you, and you know I'll never drop. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Yeah, yeah. Everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Oh, cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. Memories bring back you.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each dark course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it all and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a woman? What has she got? If not herself, then she has not to say the thing she truly feels, and not the one kneels. The written shows I took the blows and did it my way. I think of you when I think about forever. I hear a joke and I know you would have told it better. I think of you out of the blue when I'm watching a movie that you'd hate. You'd say it, you were never one to hesitate. You were always first in line, so why would it be different for heaven? But I got a couple questions. Is there a bar up there where you've got a favorite chair, where you sit with friends and talk about the weather? Is there a place you go to watch the sunset? And oh, is there a song you just can't wait to share? Yeah, I know you'll tell me when I get there. Do you think of me? Do you wish that I would slow down? Are there some things that you've seen that feel like home now? Are you up there climbing trees, singing brand new melodies? I hope you are. Is there a place you go to watch the sunset? And oh, is there a song you just can't wait to share? Yeah, I know you'll tell me when I get there. Yeah, yeah, you'll tell me when I get there. Will you save me a place with all those pearls of wisdom? Yeah, I'll make some mistakes, and you watch me as I lift them till I'm through, till I'm with you. Is there a bar up there where you've got a favorite chair, where you sit with friends and talk about the weather? Is there a place you go to watch the sunset? And oh, is there a song you just can't wait to share? Yeah, I know you'll tell me when I get there. Yeah. I think of you when I think about forever.
As a reflection, Heather asked me to read the 23rd Psalm. I'm not a really good Catholic here, but and I don't think Heather was really either, religious. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me through the paths of righteousness for his own name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. They prepare a table for me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. And surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So just a little bit of housekeeping. We're going to cortege straight after here to the Ballarat Cemetery. If you are going to travel behind the hearse, we ask you to please turn your lights on. When we leave here, we're actually going to head down to, is it Armstrong Street? I'm not sure. Camp Street?
Norman Street.
No, it's, so when we leave here, we're actually not going to go all the way back down to the main street via this road. We are actually going to do a bit of a dog leg, and we're going to go back via, sort of down past where John Curtin is, to the roundabout, so that we can do one final pass in front of Cracker Jack's. It's there. So if you don't want to follow us, you can head straight to the cemetery and we will meet you there. We are on, there is a little description here. So we're actually going to enter the cemetery via the gates near the roundabout, which is on Norman Street and the corner of Lydiard Street North. Now, if you do want to not follow us, we are going to be in the Birdsong Garden. After that, the family invite you to the Smeaton Hotel, and there you'll get to share some light refreshments, and most importantly, you'll get the opportunity to share your own treasured memories of Heather with one another. So as we have heard today, Heather's family was her greatest pride and joy. Her husband, children, and grandchildren, they meant the absolute world to her, and she loved having them around. Her children were not only her offspring, but her confidant and her friends. And she created a warm and nurturing home where love and laughter abounded. Heather, as you heard, welcomed anyone through those doors of the house. They were always open to anyone. And family dinners with 23 people, as you saw in some of the photos there, were not an uncommon occurrence. And she loved to indulge her passion for food and for baking. And the one thing about that was good was she was very, very good at it. So no one ever went hungry when in her presence. As a wife, her love for her husband, Rob, was a testament to the strength of their bond. Through life's trials and heartaches, and there were a few, Heather and Rob stood together, facing challenges hand in hand. But their love was a source of inspiration for all who knew them. And Heather herself was renowned for her fiery spirit, her fierce determination, unwavering resolve. And these were perhaps qualities that stemmed from her Scottish heritage. And I'd just like to think that her family will carry these traits on. But she was also a woman of contrasts. She was strict, but also fun-loving, and well, sometimes just a little bit crazy. And Heather could be a formidable force to be reckoned with. She never suffered fools gladly, and she had no patience for nonsense. It was her way or the highway. And a trait that both challenged and endeared her to all those who knew her well. And Rob and Heather's children affectionately called her a control freak, as they did before. And this was right up until the end. And it was especially evident when Heather made the difficult decision to choose the exact time, the exact place, and the exact day of her passing. So on Friday, the 20th of October, 2023, she gathered her beloved family and friends around her, and she took her final breath, knowing that she was surrounded by warmth and love, and that she was truly cherished throughout her life. Sadly, the one consequence of death is that it actually can make you appreciate life. It is a precious and fragile thing, and it should not be taken for granted. It isn't always pretty, and it isn't always comfortable. And sometimes it bloody hurts. It breaks your heart, and it will leave a scar that can never truly be erased. And the journey changes you. It should change you. It seems so unfair in so many ways. Heather's death has cheated you indeed of that one more cherished conversation with her, of one more precious moment, and of one more loving touch. And although she may not be here with us in the physical sense, we know that her memory will be forever etched in your hearts. So let us remember Heather, not with sadness, but with the joy of having known her. I'd like to invite the grandchildren to come up.